Vanessa never imagined that the man she was throwing out of her house that night would soon become the man she would be watching on television. She had looked at Daniel's empty bank account, his old car, and his struggling business and decided he was a failure. So she packed his clothes, threw his suitcase outside, and told him to leave. Daniel walked away with almost nothing, but Vanessa didn't know something. Behind the humiliation was a man carrying an idea he had refused to give up on. 2 months later, her television screen showed a completely different Daniel. A black luxury car, expensive suit, reporters surrounding him, and one question that made Vanessa's heart stop. How did you become a millionaire so quickly? She stared at the screen in disbelief, because the man everyone was celebrating was the same man she had once told was worth nothing. And what happened between that painful night and Daniel's incredible comeback is a story you won't want to miss. Before we begin, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay with us until the end.
The door slammed behind Daniel. For several seconds, he stood outside with his suitcase in his hand. Then his phone rang. "Miriam?" Miriam said. "Daniel, where are you?" He swallowed. "Vanessa threw me out." "What?" She said she's tired of struggling with me. Miriam went quiet. "Where are you now?" "Outside the house." "Stay there, I'm coming. I don't want you to see me like this. Daniel, stop talking and wait for me." 20 minutes later, Miriam pulled up. She stepped out, looked at the suitcase, then looked at her brother. "Get in." Daniel opened the door. "I failed." Miriam shook her head. "You lost your home tonight. That doesn't mean you lost your future." Daniel stared through the window. "She said I'm useless." "And you believe her?" "I don't know." "Then don't decide your future while you're hurting." At Miriam's apartment, Daniel dropped the suitcase beside the sofa. Miriam brought him water. "You need to sleep." "I can't." "Why?" "Because I keep thinking about my business." "The logistics idea?" "Yes." "The one Vanessa called a waste of time?" Daniel nodded. "She said nobody would invest in it." "And you believed her?" "I almost did." Miriam sat across from him. "Then show me what you have." Daniel opened his laptop. "This system can help small businesses track deliveries, reduce lost packages, and manage drivers." Miriam studied the screen. "Why haven't you launched it?" "I don't have enough money." "Then find someone who does." "I've already been rejected." "How many?" 7. "Then contact 8. Daniel gave a tired laugh. "You make it sound easy." "I didn't say it would be easy." She pointed at the laptop. "I said you are not allowed to quit." Daniel looked at his suitcase. "I walked out thinking I had lost everything." Miriam answered. "Maybe you only lost the person who couldn't see what you are becoming." Daniel looked at her. "Then I have something to build." The next morning, Daniel started calling investors. The first call lasted less than 2 minutes. "No, we are not interested." The second was worse. "Your company is too small." The third investor laughed. "You want funding for this?" Daniel ended the call. Miriam looked at him. "Next?" By afternoon, he had received 12 rejections. Daniel closed the laptop. Maybe Vanessa was right. Miriam immediately shook her head. "No. What if this is a sign?" "A sign of what?" "That I should stop." Miriam leaned forward. "Daniel, listen to me. Rejection is not proof that your idea is worthless. It only means those people said no." Daniel looked at the screen again. Then his phone buzzed. A new email had arrived. Subject: Request for demonstration. Daniel opened it. His expression changed. "Miriam." "What?" "They want to see the system." She smiled.
Then stop feeling sorry for yourself. Daniel stood. Tomorrow? Tomorrow. He nodded. Then tomorrow I start again. Neither of them knew that this single meeting would become the first crack in Daniel's old life and the beginning of something Vanessa would never expect.
The next morning, Daniel arrived at the investor's office. Miriam called. "Are you ready?" "Ready." "Good. Don't let one rejection make you forget how hard you've worked." The meeting began. The investor, Collins, watched Daniel demonstrate the logistics system. What problem does this solve? Lost deliveries, delays, and poor tracking. Small businesses lose money because they don't know where their goods are. And you believe companies will pay for this? Yes. How many customers do you have? None yet. Collins leaned back. Then why should I invest? Because I know what this system can become. Collins stared at him. Confidence isn't evidence. Daniel nodded. Give me a chance to prove it. Collins smiled. I'll give you a trial. Daniel blinked. For how long? 7 days, 1 client. If your system works, we'll discuss a contract. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. Daniel left and called Miriam. She gave us a trial, but it's only 1 chance. 1 chance is all you need. Daniel walked, preparing the system. On the 7th morning, disaster struck. Daniel's assistant rushed into the office. Daniel, we have a problem. What happened? The system isn't updating. Restart it. I did. Try the backup. It isn't responding. Daniel grabbed his phone. Call the technicians. Within minutes, customers started complaining. Where is my delivery? Why can't I track anything? Daniel answered every call. We're fixing it. His assistant whispered, what if the client cancels? Daniel looked at her. Then we fix it before they do. He called the technician. How long? Maybe 3 hours. We don't have 3 hours. Daniel opened the server logs. Wait, stop. What? Look here. He pointed at the screen. The system isn't broken. Someone changed the access settings. His assistant stared. Someone? Yes. He called Collins. Mr. Collins, I need to tell you something. What happened? Someone interfered with the system. Are you accusing my company? No, I'm saying I can prove what happened. Collins became silent. You have until the end of the day. Daniel hung up. He turned to his assistant. Find every login. They worked for hours. Finally, they found it. A former employee had accessed the system using an old password. Daniel secured the account and restored the system. Collins called. I've seen the report. Daniel waited. You fixed it. Yes. You also found the person responsible. Yes. Collins paused. Come tomorrow. For what? To sign the contract. Daniel smiled. But before he could celebrate, Collins added something else. What? Your former investor called me. Daniel's smile disappeared. Why? He wants to meet you. Daniel remembered the man who had rejected him. What does he want? I think he wants back in. Daniel looked at the screen. Now they were calling him. He smiled. Tell him he can wait. Since Vanessa threw him out, everything had changed. He wasn't chasing approval anymore, and Vanessa had no idea what was happening. Daniel arrived at the office the next morning expecting to meet Collins. Instead, he found the investor who had rejected him weeks earlier. The man stood and extended his hand. Daniel. Daniel looked at it but didn't immediately take it. You wanted to see me? Yes. What changed? The investor smiled. Your company. You mean the company you said wasn't worth investing in? I made a mistake. Daniel finally shook his hand. I remember what you said. I know. You told me to come back when I had something real. And now you do. Daniel sat down. So why are you here? I want to invest. How much? The investor named an amount. Daniel remained silent. That would give you enough capital to expand nationally, the man added. Daniel looked at him. And what do you want in return?
A significant share of the company. Daniel shook his head. No. The investor frowned. You haven't even negotiated. I don't need your money. You're turning down a major investment. I already have a contract. I'm growing. You'll grow faster with me. Daniel stood. I spent months asking people to believe in me. Now that I'm succeeding, I don't need to sell away what I built. The investor stared at him. You'll regret this. Daniel smiled. Have already regretted enough. He walked out. His assistant followed. Did you really just turn down that money? Yes. Why? Because I don't want to build my future by giving someone else control over it. His phone rang. It was Collins. Daniel, I heard what happened. Daniel smiled. I hope that's good news. It is. I have another client interested in your system. Another? A major company. Daniel stopped walking. When do they want the demonstration? Tomorrow. Daniel looked at his assistant. Clear my schedule. But the new opportunity came with a problem. The company wanted the system customized within 2 weeks. His assistant looked worried. Daniel, we don't have enough people. Then we hire. We don't have enough money to hire everyone. Daniel thought for a moment. Then we start with the most important positions. That evening, he called Miriam. Can you help me find good people? She laughed. Now you're hiring? Yes. 2 weeks ago, you were sleeping on a bench. Daniel smiled. I know. And now I have work I can't handle alone. Miriam became serious. Daniel, I'm proud of you. He went quiet. I wish Vanessa could have seen this side of me. Don't make the mistake of building your success around her reaction. I won't. Good. Build it because you believe in it. Daniel looked at the growing list of tasks on his desk. I think I'm finally starting to understand. What? I spent years trying to convince people I was capable, and now I just want to do the work. Meanwhile, Vanessa was beginning to hear Daniel's name everywhere. At a restaurant, 2 women at the next table discussed his company. Have you heard about that young entrepreneur? Yes, his logistics system is apparently becoming huge. Vanessa's hand stopped halfway to her glass. Daniel? One woman looked at her. You know him? Vanessa forced a smile. He's my husband. The women stared. Really? Vanessa nodded. But she couldn't bring herself to explain that she had thrown him out only weeks earlier. That night, she searched his name online. The results stunned her. His company had secured another major contract. His photograph appeared beside the headline. Vanessa whispered, What have I done? Then her phone rang. It was Miriam. Vanessa answered nervously. Hello? Miriam's voice was cold. You've been searching for Daniel. Vanessa froze. How did you know? Because you called someone asking about him. I just wanted to know how he's doing. Miriam paused. He's doing better than you think. Vanessa swallowed. I want to speak to him. Why? I need to tell him something. Miriam's answer was immediate. Then you'd better be ready to hear something you may not like.
Vanessa waited for Miriam's answer. When can I see him? Miriam hesitated. I'll ask him. Please. I can't promise anything. Vanessa nodded. That's fair. After the call, Miriam went to Daniel's office. Vanessa wants to meet you. Daniel stopped typing. What did you tell her? That I'd ask. Daniel leaned back. I'm not ready. You don't have to meet her. I know. So what are you going to do? Daniel looked at his phone. Nothing for now. Before Miriam could respond, Daniel's assistant rushed in. Daniel, Collins is calling. Daniel answered. Hello? Daniel, we have a problem. His expression changed. What happened? The new client has discovered a serious issue with the system. How serious? They are threatening to cancel the contract. Daniel immediately stood. I'll be there. Miriam watched him grab his jacket. What's wrong? The biggest contract we've ever received might disappear. Daniel spent the next several hours at the client's office. The manager was furious. You promised this system would handle our deliveries. It can. Then why did 30 shipments disappear from the dashboard? They didn't disappear. The tracking data isn't syncing correctly. That sounds like a problem with your system. It is, and I'll fix it. You have 24 hours. Daniel nodded. I'll fix it. Back at the office, his team walked through the night. One employee said, Daniel, we've checked everything. Check again. We're exhausted. So am I.
Maybe we should tell the client we need more time? Daniel shook his head. No, we promised 24 hours. At 3 a.m., Daniel finally found the problem. The update. His assistant looked up. What? The software update corrupted the synchronization. Can we reverse it? Yes. Then do it. They worked until sunrise. The system came back online. Daniel immediately called the client. It's fixed. The manager checked the dashboard. Everything is back. Daniel waited. Finally, the manager said, "We're keeping the contract." Daniel closed his eyes in relief. Then the manager added, "We're also increasing the order." Daniel smiled. "How much?" "Triple." His team erupted in excitement. Daniel simply whispered, "We did it." Later that morning, Vanessa walked into his office. "You look terrible." Daniel laughed. "I feel terrible." She handed him coffee. "You heard about the contract?" "Yes." "And Vanessa?" Daniel's smile disappeared. She called again. "What did she say?" "She wants to apologize." Daniel was quiet. Miriam asked, "Do you still want to avoid her?" Daniel looked at the growing list of contracts on his desk. "For now." "Why?" "Because I don't want her apology to become the reason I lose focus." Miriam nodded. "That's probably wise." Meanwhile, Vanessa sat alone at home staring at her phone. She opened an article about Daniel's company. Another headline appeared. Rising entrepreneur lands major expansion deal. Vanessa's eyes filled with tears. She whispered, "He's really doing it." Then another notification appeared. Daniel had been invited to appear on a major television business program. Vanessa stared at the announcement. Her heart began racing. The same man she had thrown out with one suitcase was about to appear on television. And for the first time, Vanessa realized she wouldn't be able to pretend anymore. The whole world was about to see the man she had refused to believe in. Vanessa sat in front of the television long before the interview began. When Daniel finally appeared on the screen, she stopped breathing for a moment. The reporter smiled. "Daniel, your company has grown incredibly fast. People want to know your secret." Daniel answered calmly. "There was no secret. There was hard work, rejection, and a lot of moments when quitting seemed easier." Vanessa's eyes filled with tears. The reporter continued. "Did you ever doubt yourself?" Daniel paused. "Yes." "What kept you going?" Daniel smiled faintly. "One person kept reminding me that my situation wasn't my identity." Vanessa knew immediately who he meant. "Miriam," she whispered. The reporter asked, "What about the people who didn't believe in you?" Daniel became serious. "I don't blame them." "Not even the people who walked away?" Daniel was silent for a moment. "No." Vanessa covered her mouth. The reporter leaned closer. "Why not?" Daniel looked toward the cameras. "Because sometimes people only see what you have today. They don't see what you are capable of becoming tomorrow." Vanessa began crying. Those words felt like they were meant for her. The reporter asked one final question. "If you could speak to the person who once doubted you, what would you say?" Daniel smiled. "I would say thank you." Vanessa stared at the screen. "Thank you?" Daniel continued. "Because losing their approval forced me to discover my own." Vanessa lowered her head. She finally understood. Daniel hadn't become successful to punish her. He had become successful because he refused to let rejection become his identity. She picked up her phone and called Miriam. "I saw the interview." "I know. I want to see Daniel." Miriam paused. "I'll ask him." Vanessa wiped her tears. "Please." But this time, she wasn't calling because Daniel was rich. She was calling because she finally understood what she had lost. Vanessa met Daniel the following afternoon. She stood quietly when he entered. "I don't know what to say." Daniel sat across from her. "Then say what you came to say." Vanessa took a breath. "I was wrong." Daniel said nothing. "I thought your money determined your worth. I thought because you were struggling, you were a failure." She wiped her eyes. "I treated you terribly." Daniel said, "You did." "I'm sorry." Daniel nodded. "I forgive you." Vanessa looked at him. Does that mean there's still a chance for us? Daniel shook his head gently. No. She lowered her eyes. I understand. I don't hate you, Vanessa, but I've moved on. She nodded through her tears. I hope you find the happiness you wanted. I hope you do too. They said goodbye, and this time, Vanessa walked away knowing she couldn't undo the past. Daniel returned to his company and continued building. He never forgot the night he left with one suitcase, but he no longer remembered it with shame. He remembered it as the night he discovered that losing someone's approval could be the beginning of finding himself. And Vanessa learned the hardest lesson of all. She had judged Daniel by what he had. She never stopped to ask what he could become. Sometimes, the person people overlook today is the person everyone celebrates tomorrow. If Daniel's story touched you, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tell us in the comments, would you have forgiven Vanessa or would you have walked away forever? Because your current situation does not determine your future, and sometimes the greatest comeback begins on the very night everyone thinks you've lost everything. Vanessa judged Daniel by what he had. She never stopped to ask what he could become. Sometimes, the person everyone overlooks today is the person everyone celebrates tomorrow. If Daniel's story touched you, like this video, subscribe to the channel and tell us in the comments, would you have forgiven Vanessa or would you have walked away forever? Because your current situation does not determine your future. And sometimes, the greatest comeback begins on the very night everyone thinks you've lost everything.